I haven't eaten for months. I am starving. I will admit, I've been hungry, but never so hungry as to have the urge to eat something not normally considered food. Absolutely never as hungry as to consider eating something that was still alive. My wife had other convictions. I watched, cringing, as she moved with the precision of a surgeon. Her hands danced across the countertops as she prepared our meal for the evening. The sound of desperate, scuttling claws, the faint tang of salt water, assaulted my senses. I'm starving, her voice husky with anticipation as she cracked open the shell of a still wriggling crab. I watched, transfixed by the horror that seemed to hold me tight in its grip, as she speared the struggling creature with a skewer and brought it to her lips. She cooed in pleasure, savoring each morsel, her eyes closed in rapture. She turned towards me. You know, you're always so quiet when I'm cooking. She swallowed the meat. It's like you're always watching me with those big puppy eyes of yours. She chuckled, a throaty sound that made me feel a little self-conscious. I can love her and not agree with her morals. Just enjoying the show, I shrugged, an attempt to play it off with a forced smile. She laughed again, this time more loudly. You're such a weirdo. Her eyes crinkled genuinely at the corners, but I love you for it. The kitchen was warm and cozy, filled with the scent of food and the sound of sizzling meat. There was a sense of comfort, now that the crabs in the cooler had all been dispatched. She moved with confidence around her domain, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something primal about her, lurking beneath the surface. It both fascinated me and repelled me. The next evening, I came home from work to my wife preparing dinner for us. The kitchen was a temple of sacrifice, the air thick with the scent of blood and fear. She moved with the precision of a priestess, her hands wielding the cleaver with a deadly serve purpose and accuracy. It shouldn't bother me. We ate lobsters all the time. She was clearly skilled in humanely dispatching them. Still, the animal offering she provided for dinner filled my head with a symphony of their struggles and screams. As she worked, the light from the kitchen windows seemed to grow dim, as if the very heavens themselves were shrinking back in horror. The words, "And the Lord set a mark upon Cain," echoed in my mind. Some sort of darkness wept beneath her skin. But God, I loved her. One of the creatures, a particularly plump lobster, seemed to sense its fate. It thrashed about, its claws snapping wildly as she attempted to pin it down. For a moment, their eyes seemed to lock, and I swear I saw a flash of malevolent understanding between them. Her hands moved swiftly as she drove the cleaver down the middle, but something went wrong. The lobster struggles were more violent than usual, and it managed to knock over a container of sauce that spilled across the counter. Her face twisted in annoyance as she fought to dispatch the creature. Finally, it stilled, her knife crushed through the flesh with a wet crunch. But as she brought the meat to her lips, her expression changed, and she spat it out in disgust. Too much stress, she muttered, her voice barely audible over the ringing in my ears. The fear seeps into the flesh, poisoning it. I couldn't shake the image from my mind, even as I lay in bed that night. The darkness seemed to press in around me, heavy with the weight of unspoken terrors. My mind raised with thrashing claws, and her twisted face. Whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Months had passed since I last shared a meal with her. I'd lost my appetite, it seemed, and the thought of consuming those squirming creatures made my stomach turn. She tried to coax me back to the table, but I couldn't bring myself to participate in her culinary rituals. Shit, the things I do for love. She was my reason for being. As the days turned into weeks, the weeks into months, I couldn't shake the feeling I was losing myself. My body was weakening, my energy dwindling, but my mind was sharper than ever. My appetite returned with a vengeance. God, I was starving. It had grown the worst at night, when I would hold her, body close to mine. She smelled sickly sweet. I felt a growing sense of obsession, a need to always be near her. I didn't agree with her morals. She would fall by the sword for the rage of her own tongue. My hand reached out, stroking her hair before my fingers closed around her arm. I pulled her body flush against me. She stirred but didn't wake. In the pitch black, I felt my teeth sink into her shoulder, skin tearing beneath the bite.